Welcome back to my channel, everybody. If you're new here, I'm Claudia. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Just recently, I shared my evening skincare routine with you. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it down below. In it, I shared that I put castor oil on my lashes as well as my eyebrows. And I got a bunch of questions from you asking, what castor oil do I use? Does it work? So in today's video, I'm going to, of course, answer those questions. But also there's a bunch of anecdotal evidence floating around saying that castor oil works to grow lashes, brows, and even hair. However, I went down the rabbit hole of research for you, trying to find some real evidence, ideally some double-blind, placebo-controlled studies showing that castor oil does help with lash growth, brow growth, and even hair growth. So in today's video, I'm also going to share with you what I learned. Castor oil has been used for decades for medicinal purposes as well as cosmetic purposes. But what is castor oil? Castor oil is a vegetable oil pressed from castor beans. It is made up of 1 to 5% linoleic acid, 2 to 6% oleic acid, and 85 to 95% ricinoleic acid. As I was saying earlier, there's a lot of anecdotal evidence floating around suggesting that castor oil helps to grow hair, lashes, and even eyebrows. And I have used castor oil for about 2 years now, and I've definitely seen a difference as far as the length and even the thickness of my lashes. And my eyebrows, which I grossly overplucked in the 90s, have started to grow back. However, I didn't just want to give you anecdotal evidence. I wanted to give you some real evidence. So I went down the rabbit hole of researching for hours, trying to find some, ideally, double-blind, placebo-controlled studies on the use of castor oil to grow hair, lashes, and eyebrows. And guess what? Not one single study has been done on the use of castor oil to grow hair, lashes, or eyebrows. But I did not give up, and I started digging deeper. And I actually learned some really interesting things. One thing I learned is that science just recently discovered that balding men have an elevated compound in their scalp called prostaglandin D2. So this elevated compound called prostaglandin D2, science now thinks contributes to hair loss in men. However, ricinoleic acid, which castor oil is 85 to 95% ricinoleic acid, can actually inhibit this compound, prostaglandin D2. So scientists now think that castor oil can actually help with balding because it can inhibit this compound called prostaglandin D2. Prostaglandins are compounds that have hormone-like effects. So when I learned that, I thought, this is it, I'm onto something, because ricinoleic acid in castor oil can inhibit this prostaglandin D2. That is why it helps with hair growth, lash growth, and eyebrow growth. However, then I dug a little bit deeper and got really confused, because I learned that latisse, which we have been using to grow lashes for quite a while now, actually is a prostaglandin analog, meaning it mimics a certain prostaglandin, not the prostaglandin D2, which we think causes balding, but a prostaglandin called F2A. So that is when I thought, how can that be? How can one prostaglandin actually cause hair loss and another one can actually help grow lashes and even hair, because latisse has actually been used for balding men as well. But that's when I had to remind myself that just like hormones, because again, these prostaglandins are sort of like hormones, they have a hormone-like effect. And just like hormones, one hormone can have one effect on the body and another hormone can have the complete opposite effect. So just like hormones, these prostaglandins can affect either hair growth or hair loss. So I dug a little bit deeper, seeing is there any sort of connection between this prostaglandin F2A, which latisse is mimicking, and castor oil or ricinoleic acid, and nothing. So basically, after hours of research, I ended up where I started, just with anecdotal evidence and one study showing that balding men actually have an elevated compound in their scalp called prostaglandin D2, which can be inhibited by the use of castor oil. So that's all I have for you, anecdotal evidence and that one study. But like I said, for me, castor oil really has made a big difference, and I'm going to show you what I use and how I use it. So this is the castor oil I'm currently using. This is Jamaican black castor oil, and it actually says on the bottle that it is for hair growth, even though we do not have any studies on it. But I have been using this one for probably a year now, because a little bottle like this lasts you forever if you just use it on your lashes and on your brows. Before this one, I just used a regular castor oil. I just make sure it's organic, but it wasn't Jamaican black castor oil, and I had the same results. I have used other lash growth serums. I actually was born with long lashes to begin with, but I noticed as I was getting older that I was losing quite a bit of lashes. So that's why I was using some other lash growth serums. But I've always been careful to not use the ones that mimic hormones, so I have not tried Latisse or anything like that. But all the other ones I've tried, they were just organic lash growth serums. None of them really did anything for my lashes. Castor oil has definitely helped my lashes. So what I do is, I have a container right here. This used to have a lash oil in it. It came in some box that I got. It's been empty for a long time. I just put the castor oil in here, and then it has an applicator like a mascara, and I really make sure to saturate my lashes. So normally with a lash growth serum like Latisse, you just put it at the lash line. With castor oil, I really make sure to saturate my lashes. Once they're saturated from the top, I open my eyes, I go to the inside, and finally, I do my bottom lashes. Then I do the same thing on the other side, really saturating them, opening them up, going to the inside, and then doing my bottom lashes. And it might be overkill, but that's just what I do. And then finally, I do my brows as well. And then whatever is left on my skin, I just dab in, sort of like an eye cream. Castor oil is safe to use around the eyes, but of course you don't want to get it in your eyes necessarily. It has happened to me before. I just see blurry for a moment, but if it bothers you, you can wash it out. But that is another nice thing about castor oil. It is non-irritating. Some lash serums can be quite irritating and even cause discoloration. So with castor oil, there's none of that. So I hope that this was helpful. Again, unfortunately, all I have for you is anecdotal evidence. But for me, definitely castor oil has made a big difference as far as the length and the thickness of my lashes and also my eyebrows. Let me know down below if you use castor oil and if you have seen any results with it, or if you have any other nice lash serums that you like, let us know down below. Of course, any questions or comments, let us know below. I always love to hear from you. I hope that wherever you are, you're staying safe and healthy. Until next time, bye.